Hey guys and gals, it's your friend Trandell here, coming back with our Warframe Beginner's Guide. We'll call this 3.1. Our third episode, originally tried covering the basics. I thought everything separated would be a little bit too short, and somehow ended up being like 40 something odd minutes. Some of you are still watching it, which that is great, but I'm going to try to cut that up into smaller segments. That way, if there's one particular thing that you're looking for, you have an episode that's only like 5 and 10 minutes long and not like 45 minutes long. So, in this episode, we're going to go over a quick tour of the Orbiter, your ship, and how the mastery rank system works, because the mastery rank is really simple. If I did a video on that, it'd be like just a couple minutes. So we're going to put those two things together. So we're going to assume that you've at least gotten past the very first introductory missions. You've got your Tenno, you've made it to the Orbiter. Now, some of these items you're not going to have just yet, but you do get pretty much most of them really early in the game. I'm just going to go over some of the items in your ship that the game doesn't really fully explain, right? So, the first thing we're going to look at is, well, let's look at this real fast. Conclave, that's like PvP type of stuff. If you like to do PvP, this is where you get that. Self-explanatory. This right here is basically community news, patch notes, if there's any special events going on. You'll see that right here. Now, this is your navigation. Right off the bat, it's going to show you any special events that are going on. Right now, it's the 8th anniversary, so there's different events you can run for that. And it's going to show you if there's any fractures or anything like that. You can do Night Wave, which is something that we'll also go over in this video because it's super easy. But the main thing that you're going to do when it comes to your navigation is getting around the star chart. So, this is where you're going to find your planets, this is where you're going to start your missions and stuff like that, and this is where you're going to see your star chart. The one thing that navigation is really good for, if you ever get lost and you're not really sure what to do, go to this tab right here where it says quest, and it'll always tell you the next objective that you should probably be working on. For me, it's the Saturn Junction. There we go. And from here, looking at the junctions, it's going to tell you if you're missing anything. The only step I'm missing right now is complete ball on Europa. Well, where's Europa? Europa's over here. We got to go through here to get to it, which means I need to open up this guy. I've already got everything open. I just need to complete this quest to get to this node right here, and there you go. The other thing that you're going to be able to do by opening up junctions, that's how you're going to get a lot of your quests. So when you want to progress, when you're looking to go through the storyline, finish your junctions, because that's going to be the main way that you're going to find that next step in the storyline. The other thing you can do through navigation is, again, anything that you can do in the game, you're going to find up here. Now, some of the stuff you're not going to have right off the bat, but you will open up more options as you play through the game. So I won't go through most of these right now. The one thing I will go through is the Void Fissures, because you get those pretty early. This is where you're going to do the missions to open up any Void Relics that you might have gotten. So you probably have gotten a couple of these by now, possibly. This is how you're going to open these up. Run the mission. It'll kind of explain it to you during the mission what you need to do, and that's how you open up your Void Relics. This is everything right here. Later on, you're going to have other stuff, but I don't want to go into that too deep because, again, this is mostly a player's guide. So, that's your navigation. The other thing, we won't go through this because that's, Arcwing and Railjack stuff. This is your Syndicate console. From here, you're going to be able to find all your standings with the different syndicates, which is, you know, to all my MMO players out there, think factions. This is going to be your faction standing. Now, quick tip, guys. This daily standing right here, this cap, that's total. So that's not per syndicate. That's all your syndicate standing that you can get per day, period. So once you hit that 13 grand or whatever it is for you, that's it. You can't get any more. That will increase with your mastery rank, and we'll save that for last. Alright, so next we're going to go over here. This is your Codex. We'll go into this. I think we can fit it in here. The Codex is where you're going to find a whole lot of information. Guys, take some time to go through this. There's a lot of really cool stuff in here. First tab is your quest. Every quest that you finish and complete will be in here. You can actually rerun quests too. So if there's a quest that for whatever reason you really liked, click on it and you can replay it. The other thing you can do in here is if there's a quest you want to start, let's say you want to start this, but you can't, it'll tell you right here what you need to do. So if you're ever wondering, you know, what you need to do to start a quest, come to here and it'll tell you what you're missing. The other thing that's really cool in here, there's a bunch of information on different mods. If you're wondering what mods there are, you know, you'll find it in here. You'll find it, you know, drop resources, you know, where it drops from, what it drops off of, stuff like that. So this is kind of cool to kind of look at. Different enemies. As you scan enemies with your Codex scanner, their information is going to show up in here. When you have all full scans, it'll show you with those little laurels right here. It'll show you what items, what mods they can drop, so on and so forth. The other area, and again, especially for, this is mostly just artwork that you can open up. Especially for our new players. This section right here, the training, like I said, there's a lot in the game that it doesn't fully explain. Especially when it comes to advanced movement. And I think we might actually do a video just for that alone. If there's any advanced movements, maybe you've heard people talk about bullet jumping. Well, this is going to be the area that's going to show all that. You know, all the different controls for that. Like I said, we will come back and we'll actually do a video where I'll actually show you guys some actual in-game footage of what those different movements are and how to do them. That's where you're going to find that. Crafting, damage, you know, synthesis, all that stuff. As you play through the game, you'll find some more stuff in here. That's the training. Missions. As you play through the game, there's like 24 different mission types. If you're not sure what a mission entitles, come in here. It'll tell you the basics of what the mission is about. There you go. That's the Codex for you. Right here, this is the marketplace. We've already talked about that in episode 2, so we'll just leave that alone. Right here, this is your Nightwave. This is just another way, let me turn that down. This is just another way for you to be able to get gear, credits, endo, and stuff like that. Think of like your daily or weekly missions in like WoW or Destiny and stuff like that. You know, Division, all those types of games. This you will do just as you're playing. So like this is, hey, pick up 8 rare mods, you get 4,500 standing through the Nightwave Axe, right? You know, here's one. Here's a weekly one. Complete 1 sortie. You know, here's another weekly one. Kill 500 enemies. Again, this is all stuff that you're going to complete just by playing the game. As you complete this, every 10,000 you're going to get these rewards. The big thing is, of course, you know, stuff like endo. 2,000 endo at the very start when you're a new player is not, you know, something to scoff at, for sure. The other thing that you're going to get is these currencies called intermission creds. You can come right down here to cred offerings and you can buy all kinds of stuff. One of the biggest things you're going to be able to buy is passive mods. I'm sure by now, if you've been experimenting with your mods for your Warframe and stuff like that, you've probably seen that passive slot, but you're not getting anything to go into it. This is going to be the main area that you're going to go to buy passive mods for your Warframes. There's all kinds of stuff in here. All the offerings that you see in here rotate every 7 days. So if there's something here you don't see 7 days from now, it's going to be a new rotation. There might be something else in there. The other thing that's going to be really important is you're going to start finding your rare mods for particular Warframes. Let's say you have an Atlas. Well, here you go. Here's a rare mod for his Rumbler augment, right? Passives, Warframe ability mods. That's going to be the two big things that you're going to want to look in here for. The other thing you're going to want to come in here for is you're going to be able to find a bunch of blueprints for Warframe parts. Particular right here. So if Vauban was one that you wanted, you could literally get the blueprints for all the parts right here, and then all you would need is the blueprint for the Warframe itself. Bam, there you go. There's a new Warframe for yourself. There's, different Orokin catalysts, you got Orokin reactors, you got some more blueprints. If you want cosmetic stuff, there's cosmetic stuff in here. There you go. That's Nightwave in a nutshell. Pretty straightforward. Coming back down towards the end of the ship, this is where you're going to find your Foundry. This is where you're going to be able to make anything that you have blueprints for. Self-explanatory. As you go through the game, you'll pick up blueprints. This is where you're going to be able to do all that stuff with. The other thing you're going to be able to do with the Foundry, here's a quick tip, and of course, my vacuum picks right this second to come in. Seriously, bro? Seriously? The joys of, living on the edge. Alright. Go back home. Seriously. Just go back home. End task. Okay. So that's pretty much the Foundry in a nutshell. All the blueprints you're gonna get through here, and make through here. Over here, this is your mods. Now we'll save that for a mod video. So this is going to be where you're going to look at all your mods, all the different stuff you have. This is going to be that right there. Right down here, incubator. This is for companions, beast companions. The game does a pretty decent explanation of that, so I won't go into this too much. This is for sentinel companions. Again, if you get any sentinel companions, they'll show up here. That's pretty much that right there. Everything towards the back of the ship you'll get later on. There's nothing really too important back there, so we won't go through that. This is for your void relics. You'll be able to see all your void relics right here. And this right here is your arsenal. This is where you're going to be able to see all your equipment, equip it, upgrade it, do appearances, all of that good stuff. This is also where you're going to be able to do your companion stuff. This is where you're going to find all your gears. So as you go through the game, when you get those Codex scanners, fishing rod, fishing spears, all that stuff, this is going to be where you're going to equip that. And then, depending on if you've got the Railjack access yet, this is where you're going to find your Arcwing stuff. And also your K drive when you open that up. And that is basically the ship in a nutshell, at least all the very important parts. Now, the last thing we're going to go over real fast is your mastery rank. You're going to find that right up here. If you click on show profile, this is going to be your mastery rank right here. Now, mastery rank isn't super important, but at the same time it kind of is. Basically, in a nutshell, mastery rank just shows how far you've kind of progressed into the game. every time you do a mission, a blue node mission, so a new mission, you're going to get mastery rank. Every time you level up any of your gear, so your primary weapons, secondary weapons, melee weapons, warframes, all that stuff, you're going to get mastery rank. Now, when you max out on those pieces of gear, whether it's your warframes or your weapons, you don't get mastery rank. You don't just keep on getting it. So that's kind of the game's way of encouraging you to try out new warframes and new gear so you can keep on accruing mastery rank. So what happens when you get mastery rank? Well, there's a couple things. The first and biggest thing is mastery rank allows you to equip more gear. Depending on your mastery rank, there are some weapons that you won't have access to. This guy right here, here's a perfect example. If you've gone through your arsenal and you've looked at weapons and you're like, okay, this says mastery locked 8, what does that mean? Basically, it means you have to be mastery rank 8 or higher to use this weapon. That's what this means right here. So that's the first big thing that mastery rank does. The other thing that it can do too is, depending on your mastery rank, there are certain missions you can't do. Right off the bat, the first one you're going to run into is this guy right down here. Since Earth is your starting planet, you might have already run into this. This guy right here you won't be able to do until you hit mastery rank 5 or higher. It's basically the game's way of making sure that you're prepared. Because usually by the time you hit mastery rank 5, you should have, you know, the levels and stuff needed to do a mission. Whatever the mastery rank is. So those are basically the two biggest things. The other thing mastering rank is also going to be able to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to get more syndicate standing per day. It's also going to allow you to start with more capacity on all your gear. Right off the bat, let's say if I totally equip, I don't think I have... So yeah, okay, like Gara, right? Got nothing on this chick. No rank, nothing, right? But as you can see, I've already got some capacity. So the capacity, you're going to get more baseline starting capacity on all your gear the higher your rank goes. So that kind of helps you keep on going through that progression, you know, hamster wheel of trying out new things, because as your mastery rank goes up, every time you equip a new item, you're going to have an easier time right off the bat starting to level it up. Those are the big things when it comes to mastery rank. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, that's your orbiter, all the big things to do on your orbiter, and that's your mastery rank right there. Next episode, we'll probably do movement, since that is a pretty big one as well. There you go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed episode 3.1 of our Warframes beginner guide. Again, guys, thank you so much. If there's anything you would like to see in a future video, please, please, please leave a comment down below. Also, subscribe. I'm trying to put out this content on a pretty regular basis. I don't want anybody to miss anything, because I know when I was a new player, there was a lot. There was a lot I wasn't sure of. So please subscribe. That way when new content does come out, you know about it. And until then, as always, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate every single one of you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And until next time, this is your boy, Trandell, signing out.